And just a real quick heads up, this presentation will be in English only this evening. We will be able to offer the information in multiple languages, including Spanish and Vietnamese. And we'll hopefully be able to make an announcement to that effect later on. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Manny, and he will get us started.
Thank you, Peter, for setting everything up this evening, and welcome to everyone for this evening's Parent Information Night. Peter kind of laid out the agenda, and we want to this evening share with you a college pathway and the information of how the Eastside Education Foundation supports you in that endeavor. So hopefully this evening will be helpful to you in planning some of your future college options. Before we get started, we would like to have a moment of silence in memory of the children and teachers who died in the Texas shooting. And just take a minute, if you would please, in silence to just remember them. Thank you. I know that event was shocking to all of us, and it's something that none of us in education, it's something that we never hope happens, but unfortunately happening much too often in this country. At this time, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Eastside Education Foundation, and we want to welcome you again for this evening. And the Eastside Education Foundation supports the success of students within the Eastside Alliance. And when we refer to the Eastside Alliance, we're referring to the Eastside Union High School District and all the elementary districts that feed into it. So this evening's presentation pertains not only for high school students, but for middle school students and even elementary school students who attend the districts in the elementary districts that lead into it. And to share with you some information, just kind of welcome you, is the president of our board, Dan Mosier, who is the retired and former superintendent of the Eastside Union High School District. Dan, thank you for being with us this evening.
Great, thank you, Manny. Good evening and welcome parents and students. As Manny indicated, I'm Dan Mosier, president of the board of directors for the Eastside Education Foundation. And we're delighted that you've chosen to learn about the opportunities available to your child as you look beyond the 8th grade and high school. The focus tonight is how parents of elementary and high school parents can start a college savings account, and how students ready to graduate from high school can apply for $1,000 to $1,500 in scholarship if they attend San Jose State University. Our partners at the Spartan East Side Promise program, San Jose State University, and Excite Foundation will provide details in a moment. I want to focus on the why we at the Eastside Education Foundation are dedicated to the Spartan East Side Promise program and Eastside students. With over 75 years of experience in the Eastside schools, Manny and I are aware of the dreams and aspirations of parents to have their children enjoy the many benefits of living in Silicon Valley. However, there are many financial challenges facing our community and students without a means of affording higher education. The Eastside Education Foundation is committed to making it possible for high school graduates to move on to and complete college. To live and thrive in the emerging global economy, today's youth need to be ready for new demanding job requirements and requiring new skills. The jobs of the future demand problem-solving skills, communication skills, and skills that are technical in all fields, whether they be medical, engineering, business, legal, etc. Parents, we need you as a partner by encouraging your child to take challenging courses, your students completing A to G requirements with a C or better, C grades or better. A great option is San Jose State University through the Spartan East Side Promise program. And if a student needs financial help to attend SJSU, it's there. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to share the great opportunities of our community, but he or she needs to be ready to take that next step. Parents and students, get ready for college now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. As Dan mentioned, our dedication to this is because we really want to continue to make a difference with our board and our team to support the students within the East Side Alliance. I'm the retired superintendent from the Oak Grove School District from a long time ago, and Dan and I have worked together on several occasions for different things, and we're very fortunate to have him as the president of our board. And as he mentioned, as far as the why, this is, we want to help students get ready for the future of work. And we don't even know the jobs that are going to be available there in the future, but we do know that anything that we can do to help you in achieving your goals, we want to be able to provide that kind of support. If we can have, so the Spartan East Side Promise is a partnership we have with San Jose State, and we are delighted to have the support of San Jose State and their support of the East Side High School District and the East Side Alliance. And a lot of us are alumni of San Jose State. I know I am, Dan is, a lot of our members of our board. We're a volunteer board that we have two consultants. Peter is one of them, who we could not do our work without his tremendous support with media and getting everything ready for events like this evening. And we are delighted to have with us this evening Amanda Aldano Fernandez, who's going to speak to you about the college pathway that is available for you at San Jose State. And that includes not only the pathway of the Spartan East Side Promise, but also the summer program that she runs along with her team, and she will be introducing those people too. So Amanda, thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here with our slides here regarding San Jose State University admissions and the Spartan East Side Promise program. So welcome again this evening to everyone. My name is Amanda Aldano Fernandez. I'm the Spartan East Side Promise program lead here at San Jose State University. My contact information is here. So if you have any questions beyond this evening, please do feel free to reach out. Similar to our other speakers on the line, I am also an alum of SJSU, went there for both of my degrees, my bachelor's and master's, as well as being an alum of the Eastside Union High School District. So leading this Spartan Eastside Promise program is especially exciting and passionate for me to be able to do that. So in a moment, we'll also have our counselors, Lori Martinson and Ben Liu, introduce themselves as they will be contributing to the information here. So I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves real quick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Martinson. I am the head counselor at Santa Teresa High School and the district subject area coordinator for counseling for the Eastside Union High School District. And I am one of the coordinators of the program from the high school side, from the Eastside Union High School District side.
Hi, I'm Ben Liu. I am the head counselor at Oak Grove High School, and I also work with Lori and Amanda in developing this program in the summer to help our students.
Great. As you can see, it is truly a community collaboration to make this happen. So I'm going to talk briefly about our admission requirements as well as the promise and resources for your students. Lori and Ben will be covering here. First off, I do want to mention San Jose State is part of the CSU system. We're actually the founding CSU in the nation's largest four-year public university system. We pride ourselves on providing our students with a high quality hands-on education. Well, what does this mean? We want to make sure that our students are not only learning the theory, but putting that theory into practice, graduating where they can be able to not only learn everything that is going to be relevant to the current and future workforce demands, but also for San Jose State specifically, almost all of our programs require students to get an internship before they graduate, meaning that they're getting their work experience and building their resume before they even have their diploma in hand. SJSU truly is an amazing place. I can definitely speak to how it transformed my life. But we are the #1 most transformative university in the nation. You can see more of our rankings at sjsu.edu/transform, such as how we are ranked the #7 top university on the West Coast, offering bachelor's and master's degrees, one of the top colleges in the nation for diversity, as well as one of the most innovative schools, constantly adapting to be able to provide our students with as many resources and access to multiple opportunities as possible. Now, we have a lot of students on our campus. About 33,000 are enrolled every year. However, that being said, our average classroom size is about 32 students to 1 professor. And as a student starts to move up, it's about 29 students to 1 professor. In my entire time at SJSU, I only had 1 class that was a big, large lecture style of 300 people like the movies. The rest were really small, which is a great opportunity for students to not only build their relationships with their classmates for study groups and networking, but also for them to get to know the professor, which is so vital for letters of recommendation for graduate school, internships, and career opportunities. There's so much that students can do at SJSU, whether that's being a part of any of our 450 student clubs, professional networks, fraternities and sororities, career organizations, being part of or creating a social justice movement, leading the way for change for our future Spartans. Because for us at SJSU, these are not extracurricular activities. Everything we do goes hand in hand with their experience here in getting their degree and getting them to that next step ready for their future. Now, if part of their future includes athletics, we are Division I in the Mountain West Conference, which is the highest you can get in college level sports. These are our official men's and women's teams. However, we have a multitude of club sports and intercollegiate, as well as esports available. So students can check that out here at sjsuspartans.com if they are interested in joining one of our official teams. Typically, Division I is a recruitment process, but there are walk-on tryouts. So I recommend, especially for students that are sophomores, juniors, even freshmen, to reach out as of now. We have tons of support services, everything from academic advising to multiple cultural centers, our food pantry, our Undocu Spartans Resource Center, just to name a few. As SJSU truly is a community of support where wherever you turn, someone is willing and ready to help you along with that next step. Now, part of that includes keeping our students in a safe environment where they are studying, whether that is in person or right now, we are in a hybrid modality. So if you are interested in how SJSU has been addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as resources and policies in place for students in the community, please do visit sjsu.edu/health advisories. Now, what does this look like in terms of planning for their next step? The timeline is as follows. Students apply October 1st to November 30th of their senior year. I do want to say that it is so important for students to reach out to the individual schools they are interested in because every school has a different deadline. While October 1st to November 30th is the main time to apply to the CSUs, some CSUs have longer deadlines. We are what's called a fully impacted campus, so we do typically stick to that November 30th deadline. Again, students apply senior year. At the same time is when we encourage they apply for financial aids, whether that is the FAFSA or the California DREAM Act, as well as check their emails. It is so vital that students have their own personal email address, whether that is Gmail, Yahoo, whatever they choose to use, that is not a school-based email, that they can check on a regular basis, because that is our main mode of communication. About a week after they apply, we send them an email to activate what we call their My SJSU account, and any and everything we need from them gets posted there. This is also where we let students know in late February or early March if they've been offered admission or if they have been withdrawn, how to appeal. Remaining deadlines are posted on My SJSU, but as you could see, support goes throughout the entire academic year leading into the summer when we have our summer program and, of course, orientation. Now, what do students study while they're here? Well, we have over 134 bachelor's and master's degrees with 110 concentrations. This is a list of some of our popular programs, such as animation, illustration, aviation, business, we're 6th best in the nation for that, as well as engineering, 1 of the 3rd best in the nation, and the list goes on and on. Near the end of our slides here, you'll be able to access our steps to admission brochure, which outlines all of our programs here. You can also see a list of our top hiring employers. As again, SJSU strives to prepare students for those current and future workforce demands and supports more than 25,000 jobs in the state of California, many of those here in the Silicon Valley. Now, if you're looking through these lists of majors and thinking, well, that's not really what I'm looking for, or I'm looking for this instead of that, I highly recommend checking out the other CSUs, because between the 23 campuses, we have over 4,100 degrees and concentrations to choose from. So quite a lot of options here. Students can explore their options as well as compare the campuses, take virtual tours, or sign up for in-person tours, see that information at calstate.edu/apply. This is where they can do their research on each of our campuses. Now, this is also where students are actually going to fill out the application October 1st of senior year. While they can use this website as of now to start to explore and do their research, which is highly recommended, they will not create their application until senior year. That is a crucial step in this process, to not make the application till senior year. Now, as far as our admission requirements, what we are looking for this process, we're looking for students to complete their A through G courses with a grade of C- or better, to meet or exceed the CSU minimum eligibility index score, and the admission selection process called impaction, all of which I'll cover in a moment on the next few slides. I also want to announce, if you have not already heard, the CSU is no longer using SAT or ACT test scores as an admission requirement. However, if students have SAT or ACT test scores, this can be used in our multiple measures process to determine English and math course placement, but again, it is not a requirement for admission. In regards to English and math course placement, all students are encouraged to take a year-long English and math course to prepare them for that next step in college. For our requirements, what we are looking for admission purposes is as follows: 2 years of history, social science, 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 2 years of laboratory science, 2 years of language other than English, so the same language, so Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, for example. It can't be Spanish 1 and French 1. It's 2 years of the same language. A year of visual performing arts, so drama, band, guitar, things of that nature, and an elective, which is any of these courses that is not already being used to meet the minimum requirements. All pass with a grade of C- or better. Now, please also keep in mind that the minimum GPA for CSU eligibility for California residents is a 2.5 and non-residents is a 3.0. As we are a fully impacted campus, which means we have more students applying every year than what we have seats available for, meeting the minimum CSU GPA may not be enough for admission. As you'll see on the next slide, every GPA, or rather every major at SJSU, requires a different eligibility index score, that combination of GPA and supplemental factors. The GPA is comprised of the 10th and 11th grade A through G courses completed at the high school. Students below these GPA thresholds are not considered for admission at SJSU. Now, to go further into impaction, we are also looking at some additional areas for consideration, such as if a student is local, graduating high school from Santa Clara County. They do typically receive a GPA boost, which has historically been 0.25. We also grant additional points if they are local, if they are eligible for the Cal State Apply fee waiver, if they are first generation or a veteran. All of this is outlined on our admissions website at sjsu.edu/admissions with an S at the end /impaction. As you can see, there are various scores for each major that are subject to change each term. So you could be able to explore this as of now to get an idea of what it might be when you apply. When students are applying, they are choosing their first choice and their second choice major. And in order to gain admission to SJSU, students have to meet the score for the major that they are applying to, either their first choice or their second choice. Otherwise, their application is withdrawn and they are not joining us in the fall. However, this is where the Spartan East Side Promise comes into play. Let's say a student does not have that 3,800 for civil engineering or that 4,000 for computer engineering, but they have their A through G's passed with a grade of C- or better. They have met the deadlines, applied by the deadlines, and have a GPA of 2.75 or higher. If this is the case, Then rather than having their application withdrawn, they are granted admission to undeclared through the Spartan East Side Promise. In addition to this, we have a wide variety of support services such as workshops, one-on-one appointments. The list goes on our website, sjsu.edu/soar/Spartan East Side Promise. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat here. I do want to pass it over to Lori as well to talk more about the tips for researching for college. As you can see, you want to start that research as of now. Now is that time to be able to see what the college admission requirements are, as they are going to vary per school. Again, CSUs, we're only looking at the GPA or eligibility index score, whereas UCs have a little bit different personal statement. They look for multiple areas. So you want to make sure that you are doing your research as of now, that if you are taking any of these exams, again, they are not required, but if you do plan to take them, that you utilize the resources available to help you with that process. Get ready for that step.
Great, thank you. Miss Lou and myself are really excited to talk to you guys today. We are counselors in Eastside, and so we work with your students when they come to high school to get them ready for college. Our goal is to make sure that your student knows what they want to do when they graduate. They know where they want to go when they graduate, and we help them with their courses and their planning to get to where they want to go. Okay, so it's really important as a student when you enter high school to have a good relationship, meet with your counselor on a regular basis so that you can do some of this research. Like, for example, being able to apply to San Jose State, which is our partner college that we have that we're talking about this evening. Now, we have an amazing resource in our district. It's called Naviance. In high school, all students have a Naviance account. It is a college and career platform. So students can do a variety of assessments, and they can also see data for the students that got accepted to colleges at their high school. So data from the last 10 years or so, that gives them so they can say, oh, if I wanted to go to UC Santa Barbara, what would I need to get into UC Santa Barbara? Well, at Santa Teresa or at Oak Grove or at Independence, this is students who got in, this was their GPA and so on. So it's really great for that. But more importantly, it helps students plan for what they want to do when they graduate. So we, as their counselors, can help them. And also, we are here for academic support. As far as the summer program and San Jose State, we as your counselors work in in a partnership with the local colleges, all of the colleges really, but we work really closely with Amanda and San Jose State as our local CSU. And we invite Amanda on our campus and her team to come and present to our students starting as early as freshman year, but that ramps up as we get closer to senior year, right? We start having Amanda come out more frequently and her team. We start talking about the application. We go through the application. We give support and help to apply for the application, as well as financial aid support and those kinds of things. And then when our students are in senior year, they've applied to San Jose State, for example, they've gotten accepted to San Jose State. We then are there to talk about the summer program that we've developed to help your students be even more supported at San Jose State. So not only are they getting into San Jose State, but we are helping them so that we are transitioning them to San Jose State with the best possible outcomes when they get there. So that's a little bit of what counselors do in the East Side around this part. I'm going to pass it over to Ben and she'll talk a little bit more about this.
Okay, so the important thing is when you enter your freshman year, make sure that you get to know your counselor, because what happens is at the end of the senior year, you're going to need letters of recommendation from your counselor. So so it's best to get to know them when you're a freshman, then by that time they can write an excellent letter, right? Because they know you really well by then. An important thing is keep in mind that when you are a freshman, have a goal to go to college, right? So as Amanda said earlier, get grades of C- or better in your A through G classes. So we will review these A through G classes when you entered your freshman year. And just remember, you can always check for your grades in your School Loop account or your Infinite Campus account. Always log into those accounts to see where you're at, right? Monitor your grades there. And importantly, your teachers are there to help. If you see that you're dropping below a C- or you want to get a better grade, make sure that you talk to your teachers, because teachers would love to help. I know that many of the teachers at Oak Grove give up their lunchtime. They're there during break time. They're there after school. So it's just not Oak Grove. I think teachers have a passion for teaching, and they are there to help. If you go and ask for help, you must seek help. And I think importantly too, that a lot of the schools now at Eastside are adopting an in-class, in-school tutorial sessions during the school day. So you get to sign up for tutorial sessions and go and get help from your teacher. Make sure you utilize that. And some of our schools also have after-school tutoring where you can get help with math and other subjects. Make sure you go, right? If your grades drop, do seek help immediately. And in terms of the college resources, besides Naviance, we do have career fairs, college fairs at the school district level. Make sure that you attend those college fairs. And even Naviance has virtual college fairs from all over the United States. You can hop on and get information about the colleges early on. And in terms of academic support, I think Ms. Lori has talked about that already. So yeah, just remember to do really well in your classes. And when it comes to your senior year, you're going to start to apply for colleges and to apply to San Jose State. The application opens October 1st, okay? And the deadline is November 30th.
Absolutely. So as mentioned, this is our steps to admission brochure. So feel free to either visit our admissions website or scan this QR code to be able to access that and see all of the information regarding our deadlines, our requirements for both freshmen and transfers, as well as multiple other resources such as our Career Center, financial aid, and so forth. My information is here. I did drop it in the chat as well, and I will pass it back to Manny.
Excuse me, we don't want to get too technical here. And first of all, I think I was on mute, so thank you, Amanda and the team for the presentation. We had a question about the eligibility index. Without getting too technical, you want to say a little bit what that is?
Yeah, of course. So our eligibility index score, again, this is what determines if a student gets admitted not only to their major, but to the university. If a student doesn't meet the score for their major, they're not offered admission to the university. However, if they have, again, those requirements of the Spartan East Side Promise, A through G is passed with a C- or better, they applied and met all deadlines, and their A through G GPA is at least a 2.75 or higher, rather than having their application withdrawn and not coming to SJSU, we offer them provisional admission to undeclared, where they can work on their general education units, as well as work with our program and an academic advisor to transition to a major at a later time. So they are still on track. We do have our degree roadmaps and multiple services to help them be on track with their programs.
I cannot emphasize what a great opportunity that is. If you know anything about college admissions, so that is really a great opportunity.
Exactly.
And,
we kid around with our students sometimes in these presentations, and we say your friends just right next door at San Jose Unified, if they apply to San Jose State and they don't get accepted directly into their major, they just get withdrawn or they just get denied. Our students in our district, they get looked at again and they get an offer of admission. And then we work, they're worked with to get them into the major of choice, right? They help them find out what they need to get into their major.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And we have another question here, Amanda, I'll throw this to you. Can my child get a job after graduation given this competitive environment? And you kind of responded to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it is possible. It can be possible. Our Career Center is incredibly strong in connecting students to resources. We have a website called Handshake that has not only on-campus, but community opportunities for internships, jobs, as well as our Career Center helps students with job fairs, writing their resumes, practicing for interviews, exploring career options if they have no idea what they could do with their major. So a lot of different services services there. And as mentioned, almost all of our majors require students to do an internship before they graduate, meaning that they are building their work experience and have the potential to be able to maybe turn that into a job or at least another opportunity. I will say that was my story and how I am now working at SJSU.
Yeah, and of course,
12 years later.
on the major, I can almost tell you, yes, the answer is going to be yes, depending on, I think you look, most of the educators in the area, and I know nursing, I mean, there's so many different business people that I have contact with that it's always going to be, it's going to be there. Thank you so much, Amanda, Lori, Ben, just absolutely terrific. We appreciate your work so much to provide this opportunity for our students. Thank you for being with us here this evening. And if Amanda added some information there, if you have some more questions, how you can access that. So thank you very much. All right, so now we're going to move into another way that we've been working with you to try to support your college pathway. And one of our best supporters, one of our very early partners, has been Eastside Credit Union. And our partnership with Eastside Credit Union has to do with college savings accounts. You may or may not have heard of these, but we partner with Eastside because of their dedication to helping students with the college savings account and how important they are to help you. Our goal is not only to have you enroll at San Jose State, but to graduate. And at this time, I would like to introduce the Vice President from Eastside Credit Union, John Hogan, to share some information with you about college savings account. Thank you for being with us this evening, John.
Of course, Manny, thanks for having me, and thanks for everybody joining us tonight. We're very happy to talk about Step Up Savings, which is really the third part of the Spartan Promise triangle with, the admission you heard about, the scholarships, and college savings. The great thing about Step Up Savings, it's a special account. It's not open to the general public, but it is available to every resident in the Eastside Alliance footprint. So all those 7 elementary schools in the high school district. It's open to ages birth through 18. And so I encourage you not only to look at it for yourselves, but to tell your friends and neighbors they should all be eligible if they're in the same school districts. At Eastside Credit Union, we certainly believe that education is critical to the success for our entire community. And the Step Up Savings program that I'll give you the details in a moment, but I want you to know that this is all based on research. And the research says that children who specifically have a college savings account are 3 times more likely to enroll in college and 4 times more likely to complete college than children who don't have a college savings account. So it's very important to open an account. And those numbers are true even with relatively small balances. So even with $500 in his college savings account. So now we all know that $500 isn't going to probably make the entire difference between attending college or not. But what's really important is the mindset that begins to build when a child learns at an early age and starts planning with their family that they're going to attend college. So that's what this is all about. We can go to the next slide and we'll specifically talk about the features of the Step Up Savings program. And I do want you to know we have this flyer available in Spanish and Vietnamese as well. But the way that it works is the credit union actually puts $50 in the account to open it for you. And then every year we'll match your deposit up to $25. So if you make a deposit of $25 each year, we'll match that. We also pay $25 bonus on the child's 5th, 10th, 15th, and 18th birthday. And the account earns 5% interest throughout the entire time. So it's a really generous savings program, really designed to give you the incentive to save. And I think what's super important to note, there's no further obligation for this program. You can open this savings account. You don't need to do any additional accounts with the credit union. This is really a community benefit for the children. One thing I want to do, I want to skip ahead one more slide, Manny, actually, and just talk
Yes, Peter, the slide after this one, that's, yeah, I put it in the wrong.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
One of the things we talk about is, boy, if we just, if we're only putting away $50 or $25, how does it really grow? This slide will show you that actually, if even if somebody starts in the 9th grade and they put in, that's the bottom line, they only put in $25 each year. The family would have put in 100, but the credit union would have ended up putting in 200 with the bonuses and the opening deposit. And even the dividends would be 46. So $100 from the family turns into $346 by the time they're 18. And you can see that if you start them young, even at birth, the family puts in 425 and it turns into $1,600. So it's a really generous program that we hope you'll all take advantage of. I think you can go back to the contact slide now. And just, you know, how you can move ahead with this program. If you'd like to open an account, you can contact myself or my colleague Dora, who's on the line here, and Dora's fluent in Spanish as well. And these accounts can be opened entirely online, or you can open them by coming into one of our branches. So we really hope that you'll take advantage of it, and look forward to working with you.
And John,
Thank you.
it's just Peter. Do you think we could have Dora just make a quick announcement that all the information we're hearing tonight is available in Spanish, just in case we have any participants who need that?
Sure, Dora, you want to come off mute and explain that in Spanish?
Got it. Yeah. Buenas tardes para los que hablan español. Yo me llamo Dora y con mi compañero aquí, John, de la cooperativa que se llama Eastside Credit Union. Tenemos la información disponible en español por medio de un flyer, un anuncio, que lo tenemos en inglés igual que en español. Entonces, si gusta más información, se puede comunicar con nosotros, tomar mi correo electrónico ahí. Voy a poner mi teléfono también en el chat. Y si gusta, se puede hasta mandarme un texto o llamar y con gusto les mando más información en español. Gracias.
Excellent. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, Dora. Thank you, John and Dora, for being with us this evening. This is a great opportunity, again, for the students within Eastside Alliance. We really appreciate everything you do to support our students. Thank you. So now we come to the portion that I think is going to be most relevant to you. So when, actually, let me mention this first before we get to the panel students. So Dan mentioned this a little bit earlier. Our goal is to help you as much as we can, not just to enroll, but we want you to graduate from college. That's our goal. In fact, the way we measure our success going forward is not only the number of students who are going to be enrolling, but we want you to graduate at a higher rate than everyone else at the university that is not part of this Eastside Spartan Promise in the summer program. And so we have a scholarship program in addition to the outstanding summer program that Amanda, Lori, and Ben run to kind of get you ready and oriented. And, you know, I was a first-time college going English learner when I went to San Jose State. Boy, I wish I had that program. I was so scared when I first set foot on the college campus, and just have that opportunity to get there ahead of time, to learn about the university. They help you register. It's a tremendous opportunity. And then once you're there and you go through the summer program, the last couple of years, we've given away about $60,000 in scholarships. Not a huge amount. They're like $1,000 to $2,000. Every year we put on different events to try to raise more money. And so anywhere, so from $30,000 to $2,000, and we plan on doing that again this year. And the guidelines are for students who are graduates who are attending San Jose State University from Eastside. They've attended the Spartan Promise summer program. First generation college students are given priority. So if it's your first time, first family member to go through college, and also preferred if you've participated in the Silicon Valley Education Foundation Elevate program. The Silicon Valley Education Foundation is also one of our partners. We give you an extra bonus point for participating in that program. This year, we plan on having the event, I believe, Dan, I hope I'm saying September 28th. And good. And we hope to have it at live. The last couple of years, we've done it on Zoom, but this year we hope to have it live from San Jose State. So just a little bit to let you know in case you have family members or friends who are attending San Jose State, graduating this year and go through the summer program. Okay, now this is the part. So, you know, you hear from Dan and I, we're a bunch of old guys. So it's like, it's been a long time since we've been to college. And then you hear from Amanda, Lori, and Ben, they're closer to your age, but now we get really close to you. And these are Eastside graduates who are attending San Jose State right now. And we're just delighted to have with us this, oh, can I see that list again? So I can, here we go. Let me just get that in there. We have 4 students who we call student mentors. We have Malaya Mosqueda, Tina Tran, Valerie Valle, and Vincent Vu are with us here this evening, and we're going to have a little bit of a panel discussion. Thank you so much for being with us. And you can ask them questions in chat as we kind of go along. So if you have any questions when you hear something from them, I'm going to ask them to just start out by introducing themselves. If you could tell us the high school you went to, your middle school, and what year you are at San Jose State and your major. And I'm going to start with Vincent because they are our veteran, done this before. Vincent, thank you for being with us again this evening. So a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get started with the others.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to this programming. It's like very important, and I'm really excited that you all are here to learn more about college today. My name is Vincent. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. And I attended middle school at Quimby Oak, go Lobos. And also my high school was Evergreen Valley High School. So go Cougars, go Lobos. Currently, I just finished up my junior year of college. So I'm heading into my 4th year at San Jose State, studying business administration with a concentration in management information systems. I switched my major a few times, but with education, it's kind of like that. You kind of figure more out about what you like and as you're exploring college. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'll pass it on to the next student.
Hope I got the introduction there, Peter. Was I on mute the whole time?
Yeah, I apologize. You're off again. If anyone else is off mute, if you could just please mute yourself while, yeah, I think I got it. There we go. There was some background noise. Go ahead, Manny.
Speaking of back, there's my phone ringing there. So I apologize for that. Malaya, can we go with you? Could you please share a little bit about yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and being here with us. My name is Malaya Mosqueda. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am now a 3rd year liberal studies integrated teacher education program major. I went to Shibuya Middle School and Evergreen Valley High School. So go Cougars and go Colts. And I am so happy to be here today.
And thank you for being with us, Malaya. Thank you very much. Valerie, can we go to you? Can you share a little bit about yourself?
Oh, sure. Thank you again for having me. My name is Valerie, and I go to, or my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I go to San Jose State, and I went to high school at Santa Teresa High School, and then I went to middle school at Burnell Intermediate. And I'm a psychology major, and I'm in my senior year. And I believe that was all the things we covered. So yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Val. That's my old district, Oak Grove, and I also was a psychology major, so good for you. We'll hear a little bit more about that as we kind of go along. Thank you, Valerie. And Tina, can you please share a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tina. I am an alumni from San Jose State. I actually just graduated last December with my bachelor's in nursing and a double minor in deaf education and public health. I most recently passed my NCLEX, so I'm officially a registered nurse, and I am just working right now and going through my residency program. So I know there was a question in the comment earlier about the competitiveness of finding a job, but I think San Jose State ultimately prepared me well in finding a job right after graduation, because I graduated, studied for my boards in a month, and then started working the month after.
Well, that answers that question. Thank you very much, Tina. It's great to have you here. Thank you. Vincent, I'm going to go to you. You said something, and I know part of the questions that were asked, but you said something that I kind of want to react to. And you said something about you change your major. And I think that's really important for students who know, gosh, what if I get there? Can you share a little bit about that if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I started out when I went into college, I really thought that I wanted to be a high school math teacher because I love education. It's always been like an area of passion of mine. So at some point I switched into the College of Education and did some work over there. And then I realized that there is just a lot of change that needs to happen with the education system that can also use knowledge and skill sets in business to be able to tie that together. So then I ended up declaring my major finally back at the major I started with. So I switched my major twice, and then I ended up back again in business administration, management, information systems, which I like to call the technology side of business. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the technology piece, you get business. And then I'm also doing a double minor in the College of Education with child adolescent development and transformative leadership to tie my love for education together. And it took me a few years to kind of like figure things out, but to put all of my interests together to potentially, hopefully find something that I love doing. Because as I took more classes, I found things that I really liked and some classes that I didn't like so much. And that helped me to get a better feel for different experiences. So I'm honestly really glad I changed my major because I got more experiences learning about, different fields that I could potentially pursue. So you don't necessarily have to know in high school exactly what you want to do. It's completely okay as a student, but just try to get yourself closer to what you want to do, not necessarily what your parents want you to do or other people want you to do or what makes the most money.
I really appreciate you sharing that because I think it's an important message for the students and families listening in. You don't have to plan your whole life when you're 15, 16. You don't have to plan your whole life when you're 21. You can change the direction. And I appreciate you sharing that information. Malaya, can I ask you, what surprised you the most about college? Just your own experience. Was there anything there you went, oh, wow, that's not quite what I expected, one way or the other?
So for me, starting off my first year, it was actually on Zoom because it was during the pandemic. But what shocked me was just how even when we transitioned into in-person, I know like the campus was so big. I know there's like thousands, like tens of thousands of people on campus. But what surprised me is that at least for like my classes weren't too big. If anything, the most amount of people in one classroom was probably like 40. That was the most. So I was surprised at how small some of my classes were, which I really liked because I think what was mentioned before, you get to know your peers more, you get to know your professors. And so that really surprised me and I really enjoyed it. And also, it's also surprising how I didn't realize when you have to go through parking at San Jose State, sometimes it takes you like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to find parking. So I would recommend do not leave your house late because you will be late to your class because of parking.
So Malaya, there's one thing that connects my generation, Dan's generation, and your generation is parking at San Jose State. That apparently has not changed over time. So definitely you have to allow for parking. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that information about the class size is really important too. I'm glad Amanda mentioned it and you mentioned it because you see these movies, there's like 300 people in the classroom and it looks very intimidating. I think having the smaller class size is probably a surprise for most. So thank you for sharing that. Valerie, how about you? You could respond to what surprised you and about college, but I also want to ask you this I'll get two questions to you and we'll kind of go around. What has surprised you? And also, what do you wish you knew when you were in middle school or high school that might have helped you? Like if you go back in the time and talk to Valerie when Valerie was in middle school, what would you say to her? And also what surprised you at college?
I would definitely say invest in good walking shoes because I walked so much more in college than high school. And I walked, I think, a good amount in high school. My first day, I would definitely say before you go to all your classes, go there a day before classes start, get a feel for everything, know where your classes are, because I didn't. I knew where majority of them were, but one of my professors switched the classroom last minute, and I was still getting to learn campus. And my first day, I had this little app that tracks my walking. I went up like 19 flights of stairs that day, just looking for like where everything is. And I will say, don't look up on your phone on Google Maps where classes are, because it will say out loud, going to this class. And that's kind of embarrassing. But I would definitely, just have an idea like, okay, I passed the library and that's the psych building. This is the student union. And I know these are kind of like a little bit, like confusing terms, but just like have a bookmark of like where everything is from what's familiar. And definitely look at book vouchers. They're at San Jose State, and they cover $200 of your books, because books are expensive. My first semester, my teacher had, or my professor, I should say, they don't like it when you use teachers. My professor, she had a book that was like $120, and it was like this big.
Wow.
And the book voucher definitely helped. So I would definitely look into that. And also, just a quick note, the light rail is really helpful, and it's only $3. And if you go into the side of the student union and you just walk all the way past the food court at the end, just go into transportation services, and it's only $3, and you can use it like, I think in the summer too. So I would definitely utilize it, because I still have mine, but don't lose it, because I believe there's a fee if you lose it. But to move on to the second question, what do I wish I knew? I wish I knew that I would be in charge of my schedule. Like, you have advisors, so do use them, because they will do reach out, but it's really like your responsibility to go schedule an appointment. Don't be scared to schedule an appointment. Everyone's kind of figuring things out. But I will say, like, I'm sure you guys went over like the general education, areas. And it looked really tricky for me when I first started. So I definitely reached out to a mentor, and I was like, I got to register for classes. I don't know what to do. Can you help me out? Like, I don't know where to start. And he kind of wrote down like area by area and gave me like a plan, because I believe you guys have roadmaps, like what to do. And you don't have to follow them to a T. Definitely like look at your strengths and what you're, comfortable taking. I know students are, balancing, college with like a part-time job. So definitely don't overbook yourself, because it is pretty demanding, like, the first semester. But it's also really fun. So definitely, get those free t-shirts, because they're definitely worth it.
Valerie, that's really good knowledge that you shared. And I particularly appreciate you sharing your scheduling, because you're more independent in college, right? If you don't go to class, no one calls your parents and says, oh, in fact, this comes to a shock to a lot of parents. The grades come to you. They don't come to the parents. So a lot of parents will go, what? Well, you're adults. And so you now have to manage your own schedule. I think that was great information to share. Tina, anything, you could respond to anything that you've heard, but I would like, since you're already graduated, also, in addition to those, what is the greatest challenge that you found about going to college now that you can kind of look back as an alumni and seeing that? Well, and anything else that you want to comment to any other questions?
Sure. I want to add on to Valerie, since she mentions textbooks were expensive. I think in college, what surprised me was there's this concept called access codes, where you have to pay maybe $300 just to do homework for a specific class. And so one of the challenges for me was, just being able to afford tuition itself and the cost of college. And being a nursing student, I also had a lot of other equipment that I had to buy to get me through nursing school. So my biggest challenge was definitely time management. as I was working 2 jobs in order to go to college, and I also wanted to stay involved in my community on campus. So time management was a little bit difficult for me, but I found that once I was able to set time for every commitment that I had, that I would still be able to focus on school, but stay involved and stay on top of my work schedule as well. But another challenge I think I wanted to add on to Malaya's comment in the chat about the stigma about going to San Jose State, because I definitely felt that starting out as a freshman, although, I had other options, but this was going to be the most affordable for me. So I felt in a way that I sold myself short. But now that I'm graduated and on the other side, I see my friends graduating from other institutions in debt, and I'm here with a full-time job being able to, save my money and graduate debt-free, because San Jose State has so many opportunities for scholarships, and this program as well offers scholarships. There was just a lot of resources, and I think it took me, to get to the other side and actually, be proud of graduating from San Jose State and being able to do that debt-free as well. So I can save my money and pursue a master's in higher education if I wanted to as well.
That's terrific, Tina. I think you hear so much about young people today, and here you are, you're working 2 jobs while you're going through managing your time, and you've done it, and now you're fully working in society. That is a terrific story, and thank you for sharing it.
Hey, Manny,
looking,
Peter, I wanted to just give you a fair warning. It is 7 o'clock, but I'm sure we can stick around a little longer because I'm really enjoying the
see that because I
conversation.
want to do one more go around. I'm looking right there, and I do one more go around. So Vincent, I'm going to come back to you. You can make any comments you want, but I would like each of you to address what advice would you give to the students, because they're going to listen more to you than they're going to listen to any of us. And you could repeat something that you said, but anything that you've heard, what advice, and I want to go over one go around to have each of you respond to that. Vincent, please.
I would say definitely, as you're heading into high school, build good relationship with your teachers, as they might be like in different classes. They might be teaching different things that you're interested in. And if you have a question that you're really curious about exploring, ask them that question, because they could know people who could, give you better answers about like college from their personal experiences in life, or refer you to like someone else that they may know. In addition to that, I would also recommend touring colleges. I didn't really have that opportunity throughout high school. So if you have the resources to be able to tour and actually go physically to check out different colleges and universities, to actually see what it's like to like be on a college campus, definitely take on that opportunity. SJSU is close by. We have like student ambassadors who give amazing tours. So if you wanted to check out San Jose State and hear about, like actually see all the things that we're talking about, you can schedule a tour and be able to go check out San Jose State as well. Also, you can learn about different career opportunities. I know everyone, like as you're a kid growing up, everyone's like, you can be a firefighter, a teacher, a doctor, nurse. There's so many other careers that are being invented every single day. So if you have a question that you are curious in exploring, find out and do a Google search and explore what career opportunities are out there. You can be a video editor and just so many other like careers nowadays. So it's amazing to see like an artificial intelligence with AI developing and technology. There's just so many different career opportunities. So definitely get curious, explore your interests, join different clubs, hobbies, challenge yourself. When I was going into high school, I was literally the shyest kid ever. I would not raise my hand to talk in class, but I really developed confidence and challenged myself by trying out student government and being in leadership. And that really has helped with my development. So be open to different opportunities, ask questions, try new things, and explore what's out there for you. And you'll be ready for college when the time comes. Everyone's going to be like, your teachers are going to say, oh, college is very hard to get into and whatnot. But once you get to your senior year, you'll be ready. So definitely trust yourself, go along with the journey, and explore all your different options.
That's fantastic, Vincent. That's great advice there. And I want to highlight one thing that you said, that you don't know necessarily what you want to do when you grow up. Even you don't know. Vincent changed their mind, and you could be looking into the future and saying, gee, what's out there? You don't know all the jobs that are out there. I don't think Peter, who's a media specialist when he was in high school necessarily said, hey, I want to be a marketing expert and media consultant. And, I'm not even sure that type of job existed, but here it is. There are jobs that are going to be created. I think that was terrific advice. And I hope that was really listened to. Thank you, Vincent. Malaya, what advice would you give?
So for my advice, it's more academic wise. I would say to really take advantage of summer and winter courses. So it will definitely help you graduate early. So like fortunately, I'm able to graduate a year earlier than I expected because I took advantage of a lot of online courses. Even as a high schooler, you can take community college courses. So during the summer and winter times, we have around a month and a half of break. And so during that time, I took classes at different community colleges, and they were mostly GE classes. So you can see which classes you can use to transfer your credits. A lot of them, just for examples, it could be a communication oral speaking class that I've done. I've done an intro to psychology class. While you're still in high school, even during the summertime, I advise that you can look up what are GE courses that you could definitely transfer as you go into college. But it's a lot more affordable because one class in like the summer or winter time, it's around like $100, I want to say, but versus when you go to a different university or any university, the summer and winter courses, just for like one class, it's like almost $1,000. It's really expensive. So I highly recommend to take summer and winter courses, especially if they're online. It's more convenient and affordable, and it'll help you just finish your classes a lot faster and a lot easier. And you could do it at like any of the colleges. You could even do it in person if any of that interests you, but definitely take advantage of those online courses and you'll learn a lot as well.
So Malaya, I think that is great advice to give students that take challenging courses when you're in high school. There was a bit of research that came out that said one of the biggest surprises for first-year students in college was a little bit harder than they thought. And I think the more challenging courses that you take, and even in your case, you mentioned you can even transfer them to college, save some money, it pays off. Malaya, thank you so much. That is excellent advice. Thank you. Valerie, what advice would you give?
I do want to start off saying, Malaya, that was great advice because I didn't know that when I was in high school. And I wish I could go back and do that because the money is worth it. Like, I will say it is, probably $100, but would you rather spend $100 now or maybe close to $1,000, for summer courses? And with summer courses, I noticed that at San Jose State, you get financial aid during the summer, but not in the winter. That's something I find out. And one of the biggest pieces of advice is get an advisor. They will help you. They can give you a letter of recommendation too, because they know you and they know the classes you're doing. They know the grades, and you're building that relationship. And they can definitely help you with classes. And you can always change advisors. You don't have to stick to the same one. I noticed that some advisors, maybe you don't have the great relationship. Maybe it's not a vibe. I don't know, but you can definitely, change different advisors. And in lecture, I will say you can go to the bathroom or anything you need to do. You do not need to ask the professor. That was something I figured out my freshman year. You can go anytime. You can just get up and walk out. No one is going to stop you, I promise. But another thing is when you're in class, try to start a conversation, with the person next to you. I used to sit in the front because I was thinking I paid almost $3,000 in tuition. I, want to get to know, the lecture and, also like talk to people next to me. And by doing that, it was tough at first, I will admit, but I met some really good friends that way. And, definitely just try to keep in touch on Instagram and different things like that. So those are the biggest piece of advice I could give.
That's a lot of great advice there, Valerie. I mean, I was kind of smiling when you said you can get up and leave and go to the bathroom. There's no one that holds your hand. I mean, the good part is you're an adult. You have independence, and you have sometimes to kind of get used to the fact that there's no one there to tell you what to do. So you know, that's both good and also takes a little bit of adjusting. Also, but getting an advisor to help you along so that you're not doing it by yourself. And the idea of starting a conversation with someone, I mean, and some, you know, I have lifelong friends that came from college, and you never know who you're going to meet. So thank you for that advice, Valerie. So Tina, take us home. What advice would you give to the students that may be listening today?
Take advantage of all your resources. There are resources for things that you wouldn't even think of. So there's the Career Center that I still use even after graduating for the career advisors to my resume and help me with, you know, my resume and getting a job and the whole entire process of interviewing. And also there are resources for mental health services, which is really important as well. I wish I took advantage of that earlier on because every student has I don't remember the number of sessions every semester, but I didn't start using it until my senior year. And I found that to take off such a huge load off my shoulders because of the stress of going to college and all these other responsibilities. So there are resources for everything, even tutoring, mental health services, even if you want to get health assessments, literally anything, just look for the website and find the resource and take advantage of it because it's part of your tuition. You're already paying for it anyways, you know.
And so I kind of pressed in. So taking advantage of the resources, and Tina, I'm so glad that you mentioned the mental health resources because it happens to everyone. Especially you've gone through something no one has ever gone through in the past, which is going through the pandemic, having to switch to online learning and that additional stress to everything else. So I'm glad that you mentioned that and taking advantage of that. So thank you very much, Tina. At this point, I want to thank first and foremost the students. Thank you for being with us. It was just absolutely terrific. I wish I had that advice and hopefully people were listening. I want to thank Amanda, Lori, and Ben for sharing the information on the Spartan East Side Promise and the summer program. Thank you so much. John Hogan and Dora Beyer, thank you so much for being with us here this evening. Peter, for all the background work and making all this possible. We really appreciate it. Dan, thank you for being with us and all the work that you do. And we want to thank our sponsors, the House Family Foundation, Ross Stores, and the grant that we received from Supervisor Otto Lee to help make this possible. Thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate having you. And we'll be having more of these sessions so you could tell your friends, come back and join us again. And we look forward to meeting all of you in the future. Have a good evening.
Thanks very much, everyone. And if you have any questions at all, this is our contact information at the foundation. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. And for everyone who was here tonight and dropped your questions into the chat, I hope we got them answered. And again, thanks to the students and everyone involved. Hope you have a great evening and enjoy yourselves. Stay safe.